So Javier and I just did 25.2, I don't know, hour and a half ago. And who won the workout, Javier?
You won. You won.
Nothing matters.
I got the tie break though.
You did. You got both tie breaks. You baited me too. So, right. So let's talk about the workout real quick. I'm going to pull it up on my screen here. The workout is for time. It's a repeat. First of all, 22.3, which Castro's clue, which was bullets, and Mike Moschetti. Call out to Mike Moschetti. Nailed it. Did you see that, Javier?
Yeah, that's what people were saying online. The 223 caliber casings. So I saw it a couple other places, but knowing Castro, he usually doesn't make it that predictable. Little change of pace there.
Yep. Oh, I just thought Mike figured it out. Maybe he saw it online. Either way, it's
Either
impressive.
way, yeah. I mean, a couple people pull that out. I didn't even think of bullets. I'm not a gun guy though. Yeah, 22.3 was a good one. I always thought it was a good mix and a good body weight, and skill. So brings in a few different aspects.
Yeah, for sure. What was your score on it? Do you remember when you did it? In 22?
Yeah, I beat the score by 1 bar muscle up.
Nice. So today you beat your score by 1?
Yeah, correct. I know I did that workout twice that year. I remember the first time I did it and got done a faster tie break, but I was so spent. I only did, I think, 1 or 2 bar muscle ups. And then the second time around, I split it up a little bit more. And I'm really glad you got to the chest to bar muscle ups before I did, because I was thinking about doing 6s. And when I saw you do 3s, I quickly changed my strategy to just do 3s.
Yeah, the chest to bar pull-ups. You said chest to bar muscle-ups.
Sorry, chest to bar pull-ups.
Yeah, so you kind of baited me. I don't know if you did that on purpose. Probably
yeah,
not,
it started in the text thread. That's where I was getting you going.
Yeah, so you did do that on purpose. Javier baited me into coming out too hot for sure, and I was spent by the time I failed my first muscle up. It shocked me. So I'm definitely going to redo it. I got to 171 was my score, which the last time I did it, I got 204, I believe, which was basically I got through the muscle ups, there's 30 double unders after the muscle ups, and then I got 4 of the thrusters, the heaviest weight. But this time go ahead.
I'll say, if you think about it, I mean, you're not that far off. The double unders, what is it, 28 of them on the last set? Something like that? 27, 28? And
there's 30.
30? That's
30.
15 seconds, And then on the thrusters, you'll probably start doing 2s, maybe 1s at that point, but I think you can do it.
Yeah. So the workout, it's on the screen, but for time, 21 pull-ups. That's just regular chin over bar pull-ups, 42 double unders, 21 thrusters. For guys, it's 95, ladies, 65. And then 18 chest to bar pull-ups. You have to actually touch your chest to the bar below your collarbone. 36 double unders, and then 18 thrusters at a heavier weight, 115 for guys, 75 for ladies. 36 double unders, 18 thrusters at the heavier weight, 15 bar muscle ups, 30 double unders, and then 15 thrusters at the third weight, which is 135 for guys, 185 for ladies. And there's a time cap at 12 minutes. So Javi and I both got time capped. But it's a good workout. I like it. It's Fran. It's interesting because usually they program Fran or some version of Fran like this for the last workout of the Open. Is this the first time it's ever not been the last workout?
I can't remember the order of them, but usually the bar muscle ups, yeah.
I think it is.
The muscle up portions usually come last.
Yeah. So the reason I got on here and I wanted to do this was to help people just prepare, because there's not a ton of time in the classes because we're going to run heats. There's not going to be a ton of time to have an in-depth discussion about strategy and, if you should scale, if you should RX. And then especially at Friday Night Lights, people are doing it Friday Night Lights, which is a super fun atmosphere. I encourage everyone to do it then, even over the classes. But it's not like you're getting coached through a warm-up and strategy. So just thought we could talk a little bit about that now. Let's talk first about, just so people know, if they don't know you, Javier, as a physical therapist, owns Beyond Physical Therapy, and has helped me, a bunch of our members, just work through some stuff. Give me your thoughts about just warming up for this workout.
So what's nice about the warm-up in itself is it's a progression of gymnastics. So each warm-up is a less intense version. So for me, my bar muscle ups aren't easy, and they always come out better when I've warmed up. So it's nice that it starts with pull-ups and it goes to...
Hang on a second. Daniel.
Hey,
what's up, dude?
What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man?
What's up, Daniel?
What's going on?
Coach Daniel Ray just jumped on the call. So Javier and I just started discussing. I asked Javier for his input on warming up for this
Mm-hmm.
workout from his expert
Mm-hmm.
background as a physical therapist.
Okay.
So that Javier, we'll get back to that
Yeah.
in a second. Daniel, let me just ask you real quick. Just what were your first impressions?
I'm excited to do it again. I've never repeated it already since 2022,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, when it came out. I'm looking forward to seeing how I can do this time. I'm a different athlete than 3 years ago. I'm probably going to try to break it up and pace it way different than I did the first time. So I don't really have any expectations this year. I just want to do it and have fun.
All right, Javier, give us some of your thoughts, input on warming up. Picture somebody
Mm-hmm.
coming to Friday Night Lights, and we'll have a warm up written on the
Yep.
board, but there's not necessarily going to be a coach walking you through
Yeah.
stuff. So just like, what do you want to be thinking about? What do you want to make sure you have warmed up and ready to go before you hit this
Yeah,
workout?
so usually I like to start off with something active, an active warm up. And I think the perfect active warm up would be ski erg, actually, with the shoulders going overhead, getting the lats warmed up, getting the shoulder range of motion going, getting that kipping motion going. So I think that's a really good warm up just to get that active. And then it's a really big shoulder workout. The quads did burn, but it's a lot of mobility out of the shoulders with this one, with the thrusters, and then as well as with the pull-ups. So the around the worlds and the pass-throughs are definitely some go-tos, but making sure you get a little bit of weight overhead. I personally wouldn't go higher than the starting weight on the warm-up. That's my preference. I like to get started with. You're going to be warm by the time you get to the second round. But I would definitely get into that first warm up, that first weight on the workout.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. The ski erg. I didn't really think about that, but that's a great movement pattern. Warm up some pull ups and the overhead position open. All right, so guys, we will have a warm up written on the board for Friday Night Lights, but you'll need to come in, 30 minutes before your heat time, and just make sure you have time to run through that warm up and then just do any extra stuff you would want to do. One cool thing about this workout is there's going to be a lot of opportunities for PRs or just doing things that you might not do like in a regular class. For example, if double unders are programmed in a workout, in a class workout, just a training day, you may more quickly go to single unders or cap yourself at a certain amount of time of double under attempts. But this is a workout where, like, if you can even just do a few, you just keep chipping away at them, and maybe you hit a bigger set of double unders than you ever have. You PR your dubs, maybe you PR your a thruster weight, maybe you get your first pull up. Daniel, tell me. So Daniel's kind of known as well, you guys are both really good at double unders, but Daniel's known as a double under master. What kind of tips would you have for people who maybe number one, somebody who has not gotten double unders, but they want to try to get it in their first workout in this workout, or maybe there's someone who has a few and they're going to need to get through a set of 42 right off the bat or after the pull ups there. What are your thoughts on
So,
that?
if you're just looking to get a couple because you've never gotten them ever, I mean, I guess my first thought would be to just jump higher and spin the rope as fast as you can and just try to do one at a time. Like there's no point in trying to do multiple sets. If you're doing one or two
Mm-hmm.
and you're just trying to chip away at it, that way you can just at least get the feel and you can get, because most people can do two spins. It might not be pretty and you might have to take a break because you're swinging the rope
Mm-hmm.
really. Your shoulders are going to get fatigued. Your grip's going to get tired, but just jump higher, pull your legs up. That way you can get the rope under your feet. If you know yourself and you know you can do them, but you can't do an unbroken set of like 42 to start with, maybe just do three and stop and do three again and stop. Because that's kind of the way I learned to do them a long time ago, was like get to a number that I could consistently hit. And I would always practice that.
Mm-hmm.
So like in a workout, instead of worrying about 42, if you're being judged, just do three, stop, do three. Or if it's two, or if it's five, whatever that number for you personally is, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's a great overall strategy for this workout too. Do it in smaller sets than you think
Yeah.
right off the bat so that you're more
Mm-hmm.
fresh as the movements get more challenging. Like that bit me in the butt
Yeah. And
when Javier and I did this a couple hours ago. I went
watched you guys do
two
it.
big sets.
Yeah, I watched you guys do it. And the thing about double unders, a lot of people don't relax when they do
Yeah.
them. So they squeeze the handles really
Yeah.
hard, tense up their arms and their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from, the pull-ups to double unders, if you're death gripping that pull-up or the jump rope, you're going to have a hard time doing bigger sets. So I encourage you to take a breath or two before you even start trying your double
Mm-hmm.
unders, to compose yourself and then remember to hold that rope lightly. When I hold the rope, if I've ever showed somebody how to do double unders or try to help them, I show them how my grip is, and you can just take it and pull it right out of my hand. That's the same grip that I use when I'm doing them. So not death gripping will not fatigue you in a lot of places.
One of the things we actually teach in the kettlebell course is how hard when you want to hold the kettlebell to get activation all the way up the chain when we're doing anything like a Turkish get up. We teach people to grip it as hard as they can because it activates everything up the chain. So, to going against that, you loosen it up, then everything can get a little bit more relaxed. So it starts with your grip. Don't over grip it.
Right.
That's a great tip. I wish I would have heard that before I started that workout.
But look, if you're
Takes a lot,
if you're
obviously.
efficient at double unders, I mean, these aren't huge sets. They're for someone that's with efficient, you can knock these out unbroken.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just remember to breathe while you're doing it. That's the hard part. So you don't get done. You're just like, ugh, and then try to catch your breath. Then
Yeah.
keep breathing.
And that age-old motto: slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get through those,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what gets you so fatigued. Just do them. And I know I say that coming from me being able to do them proficiently, but even practicing them or trying to do them in the workout tomorrow, just do 3 and don't give it your all. Just do them.
Sweet. So break it up early and often. I think that's a key strategy point here for most people. Break it up early and often. Even, maybe the pull-ups for you, you're like, oh, sweet, that's no big deal. I'll get through 21. And, maybe you're someone who's like, I could do that in 11 and 10, no problem. Well, I would recommend doing like maybe even 6, 5, 5, 5. Or if you're someone who's like, I couldn't do 11 and 10, but I could do 7, 7, 7, no problem. I would probably do it all in sets of 3 right off the bat. I could have done those chest to bar pull-ups. I probably could have done them unbroken, but definitely in 2 sets, but I chose to do all sets of 3 because I knew Javier had baited me and I had already come out too hot. So I was trying to recover. So I broke it up. So the pull-ups that start the workout, I think I did 11 and 10 or something. And I wish I would have done, 7, 7, 7 or even 6, 5, 5, 5 just to save myself a little bit, keep my heart rate under control. Same with the thrusters, like that set of 21 at 95. The bait there is, I can do that unbroken. Or even if you're thinking, well, I can't do it unbroken, but I could do 11, 10. I would say break it up more than you think.
Yeah,
I should have broken that up more too.
And if you break it up more than you think, you don't have to take as long to recover to grab the bar again. So if you do that 3, 4, 5 thrusters, you pick it back up and you go again, so that way you're not staring at the bar for 4 or 5 seconds, losing time.
Yeah, I went 7, 7, 7 on both the pull up and the thruster, and it felt good. That felt about right for me.
And it looked good. I watched you guys do it, and that's like I was telling myself that's probably how I'm going to approach it. But now listening to Joe, I might break the thrusters up a little bit more just so I can keep moving. So when I get to the chest to bar, because when we did it 3 years ago, me and Joe did it together, and I think I got to the bar muscle ups around 6 minutes. And then I spent 5 whole minutes trying to do 15 bar muscle ups. So I think I'm going to try to go slower in the beginning, so that way I can attack the bar muscle ups with a little bit more intensity as opposed to staring at it and wondering when I'm going to go again.
Yeah, I did it twice in 22.3, and the first time I did bigger sets. I did 11, 10, 11, 10. I got to the bar faster bar muscle ups, but I did only 1 or 2. I was so spent. So the second time I went around, I got there less time, maybe a minute and a half later. Hey, what's up, buddy? A minute and a half later, but I got 6 bar muscle ups. So it's kind of where you want to spend your energy. So I did a little bit bigger sets with the thrusters, just as a little bit more of a strength, and then the chest to bars I did 3s. I'm glad Joe got to the chest bars before I did. When he did a set of 3, I was like, all right, I'm going to heed that warning there.
So should I RX or should I just do the scaled version? And with the open, let me just address first of all just like how the open scoring works. As far as getting the best possible score, if you do any of it RX, you're going to have a higher score on the leaderboard than if you finish the whole thing scaled.
Right.
And you can use, and I know it starts with pull-ups, and maybe you're thinking I can't do pull-ups, or maybe you're really close but you've never done one. You can use any grip on the pull-ups. We looked at that standard. You can use a chin-up grip. You can do a mixed grip. It does have to start, typical standards, full extension of the arms, feet off the ground, and then get your chin clearly over the top of the bar. But if you think there's a chance you could get that, you should attempt it as long as it's safe, get the best score you can. I've talked about this a lot in class, the difference between training and testing. Data training, you aim to hit the stimulus. Doesn't really matter if you RX or not. That's just a designation to help us, have something to go off of. But in a competition like the Open, this is a time that's more about testing and you get as far as you can RX. And if you get stuck, like maybe you get one pull up or two and you're just like, I cannot go anymore. You could just then choose to continue on some of the workout scale just to get a workout in. But especially for your like one attempt at this Open workout, I would encourage you to get as far as you can RX. If you can't, like if you're just not there yet with pull-ups, that's no worries. There is a scaled version of the workout. Instead of pull-ups, it starts with jumping pull-ups. And then the second set, it goes to regular pull-ups and then chest-to-bar pull-ups. So that's the scaled version. And then there's also a foundations version, which is bent over rows, which you can do with an empty barbell. And then it goes to ring rows, I believe, and then jumping pull-ups. So there's a version of it that anyone can do. But do you guys have any thoughts on that? Am I describing that accurately, you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's an awesome workout. You get a tiebreaker. So, once you get to a certain spot, you work hard, you get there, then that ranks you, and you have that score. So if you get stuck, there's something to work towards. That's almost like a step by step. So there's 2 tiebreakers in the workout. It depends on how you want to go at it. If you're a competitive person, you don't have bar muscle ups, you want to try to get to that tie break as fast as you can. But if you're like, I want to work, I think I can get that first bar muscle up, then you might think about trying to pace it a little bit. So it depends on what your goals are. If you want to try to, I think I'm always excited with workouts like this, people getting their first bar muscle up or their first pull up. That's what I'm most excited about with this one. This one sets it up for that. I mean, you'll have 6 to 4 minutes to try to get a muscle up. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, if you're signing up for the Open, like you're paying it, and you should try to do it as most at the RX if you can, and if you can do it safely, So I feel like,
What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
You can do
Go ahead.
What's up, dude?
Daniel, finish your thought.
I was going to say, like, the thruster weight. A lot of guys might not be doing 115 in workouts. It might be pretty heavy for them, but like they can probably do it safely for the RX and the Open and get the whole thing. It might take them twice as long, but I think people should strive to do that as opposed to scaling it just to complete the workouts. Like push yourself, and then another day, if this workout comes back up again in our regular programming, scale it and train, versus testing.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. What's up, Brian?
How's it going? How was the workout?
It was good.
Well,
has your heart rate
it was
come down
good.
yet?
It's interesting. This was one of those workouts for me. Tell me if this has ever happened to you guys, where when I finished the workout, the 12-minute time cap, I actually felt all right. Like I walked right over to the computer and I could have like had a conversation. But then like 3-4 minutes later, all of a sudden it was like boom, boom, and like I had to like lay down on the floor. It was like a delay. Never happened to you guys?
Yeah, in some workouts, I can't remember which, but I have had them like that before. And about the same thing, about 5 minutes later, it all really hit. Like I had to go sit down in a chair. And it was just like a compounded effect, I guess, more on the central nervous system than anything.
Yeah, I don't know if it has something to do with like how long it, we got done with the thrusters, 6.5 minutes. And then we're trying to spend another 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes just trying to do bar muscle ups. We kind of forget about our legs. Then the time's done, and then it all kind of settles down, and you're like, "Oh, my quads are burnt from those thrusters." Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you guys?
Brian, did you do this in 22?
No, I didn't. I haven't done it before.
Okay.
No.
What do you think? What's your strategy going to be?
To manage the heart rate from the get-go. So I was thinking of like I could do the 21 unbroken thrusters, but I don't think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to like break after 7 just for like
Hmm.
5 seconds. And then where I'm going to get stuck is the bar muscle ups. Like I'll be able to get through the 115 thrusters like 5 and then do another 5. Do the bar muscle ups come after the 135 or before?
Before.
Okay. Yeah, so I wish they were ring muscle ups. For whatever reason, ring muscle ups are so much easier for me.
Me too.
So if I can do 2 to 3 bar muscle ups at a time and kind of pick them off, see if I can get through that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
That,
like I look at an athlete like Brian. He's a really really good gymnastics light guy, moves very nicely. Um, don't let the thrusters. I would for someone like you, I would probably bring it down on thrusters just a little bit more than break it up in threes. Even the fives on the 115s, because I think once you get to the bar muscle ups, I think you'll be able to get through them.
okay. All right. So just to break up the 115s a little more even.
I would do it in.
I would.
That was 18 of them, right?
18.
15.
I'm probably going to do it in threes.
Oh, it's 18. Okay, 135 is
Yeah,
15. Do them in
I
threes.
did sixes, so, but I'm a heavier guy. I'm more of on the
Yeah.
lifting end of the spectrum, and six hurt
Yours
a little bit.
looks smooth, man.
But Joe did threes, and that's where I caught Joe.
Okay.
But
I did.
that's when Joe left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came out too hot, Brian, and I did not do what you just said, which is pace more at the beginning.
Mhm.
And so when I got to the 115, I could have done bigger sets, but I knew if I had wanted to have any shot at the muscle ups being decent, I needed to break it up more. So I
Did you
did
make
threes.
did you make it through the muscle ups?
I did, but that's it. I made it through the 15 muscle ups, and then I didn't have time to do any double unders or anything after that.
Javier, did you make it through the muscle
No,
ups?
I did 7 of them. Yeah,
7.
so
Okay.
that was one more than 22. So I was happy with it. That was my goal.
All right.
Daniel, how far did you get when you did it in 22?
I got 3 reps. So I got through the double unders after the bar muscle ups and like 3 or 4 of the thrusters, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the same thing I got.
I'm shaped differently this year than I was
What
3
does that
years ago.
mean?
I'm heavier. I
Oh,
can move the thruster weight easier.
Yeah,
Like my
yeah.
double unders are fine. My gymnastics are still fairly decent, but I'm hoping I can move the barbell better. Like I purposely tried to get heavier this winter to move weight better
Hmm.
than I have in the past. And not for the open, but just in general. I wanted to be able to handle weight a little bit better.
Yep. Cool. We kind of already hit this, but and by the way, Brian, this isn't live, but I'll chop it up and put some stuff out there for people. For people who are trying to get their first chest to bar pull up, their first or muscle up, because those come a little bit later in the workout, especially if you're trying to get your first bar muscle up in a workout, or someone I'm thinking of like Paul Goldsmith, who he's gotten a few now and he's done a couple workouts with bar muscle ups, but it's still a relatively new skill. Like the first part of the workout should be almost like a warm up to the muscle ups for you. That's how it should feel. Like break it up way more than you think. Take big deep breaths, take breaks, and you'll still get to the muscle ups with 3-4 minutes to do those. The worst thing in an open workout like this, if you have gotten some bar muscle ups, you've gotten them in warm ups, is to crush yourself in the first part of the workout, and you get there and you're not able to do it.
Yeah.
So, Paul, I'm talking to
yeah.
you.
If 115 is something you can't do at least 10 straight, pace it, and you want to give yourself a couple minutes after those thrusters to do
Yeah, like even before you attempt your first
before you
muscle
attempt
up.
if you're someone that's like, I just want to get my first muscle up in the open, you want to give yourself a minute and a half, 2 minutes to try to get that one muscle up.
Yeah. Yep. And then when you're doing that bar muscle up attempt, be patient in the pulls. You know, a lot of people do their kip, and when they're in their backswing, you know, you pull as soon as you're behind the bar instead of being patient and pulling down on the bar, you know. So Just be patient is what I would always say.
If you're trying to get that one muscle, I would try to shoot for that 9 minute mark. Either pace yourself slow enough to get to that 9 minute mark, or if you need to pick it up to try to get to that 9 minute mark. If you're trying to get that one bar muscle up, pace yourself to that 9 minutes.
For categories of athletes who are going to try this or do this workout, I think there's a category of athlete that like you can hang and it's like get close. A good strategy for you, this wouldn't be the best possible score necessarily, but it would be an opportunity to PR in the open, which is even cooler, would be to do the scaled version because it starts with jumping pull-ups and then single unders and then thrusters. And the thruster weight is, I'm looking at it right now, 65 pounds for guys, 45 for ladies. And then the second set of pull-ups is pull-ups. But you're going to be nice and warmed up. You're going to be primed. You're going to be adrenaline flowing, especially if you come to Friday Night Lights. People are going to be yelling at you, cheering you on. And that's the kind of scenario where people get their first pull-up in an open workout. You know, you're warm, you have the adrenaline, and you hit that rather than starting cold and just starting to attempt it right off the bat. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we probably have a handful of people in that boat as well, where it's like, go ahead and do the scaled version and look at it like I'm going to try to get my first pull up in a workout.
And going back to what Javier said, whatever your sticking point is, rest that minute or 2 or 3 if you've got time, to get your heart rate back, get your mental focus back, and then give it your all for your first try, your first pull up, your first bar muscle up, whatever it is, your first chest to bar. If that's the hard part for you in that workout, rest.
Don't miss your first bar muscle up like Joe.
Yeah.
I failed my first bar muscle up, Brian, because I was so fatigued. But
that's my problem is I'm not patient, and it feels like it takes forever. Those are when it's easiest. It's just a matter of doing it.
You're going to get to the bar muscle ups. If you can do the other things like Javier said and Joe, you're going to have plenty of time to try bar muscle ups. It's not being dead when you get to them, because knowing how this workout goes, your upper body is fried. And even if you're good at gymnastics, like I was too when I did it the first time, but it compounds,
It does.
So
did you guys break up your pull-ups and chest bars?
I did. I can, like usually in Fran, I'll do 21 unbroken on the first set. But I did 7s just to pace myself out on purpose. Like I'm stopping at 7 no matter what. And then even on chest to bars, Joe and I both did 3s.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't go.
Yeah.
I think we got done close to the same time right before bar muscles. 6:40.
6 minutes.
I'm contemplating just doing singles on the chest to bars, like jumping up, doing 1, turning around, jumping up, doing 1, and just keep moving instead of, because I can't butterfly them like you did.
Yeah.
I've tried and I just can't get it.
I intentionally,
but like doing kipping.
Yeah. I intentionally kipped them.
Kipping.
Try to get that, because it correlates more with the bar muscle up. So I wanted to get that system revved up a little bit more. So that's why I intentionally did bar instead of doing butterflies, doing kipping.
Yeah.
I want to talk about standards of the movements quickly, and just so I can make
I'm
people know that. Go ahead.
Run off, but I wanted to jump in and see how it went. So I'll sign up. I'll be there tomorrow night. So I'll sign up for a heat when those come out.
I just put them in.
Where are they?
They're in the members app. Just sign up like you would for a class.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
All right.
See you tomorrow, Brian.
Yep.
Guys, the heats are in the members app, just like signing up for a class. Go sign up for a Friday Night Lights heat. They're going to go every 20 minutes between 5 and 7:40 or 7:20 p.m. I think is the last one. So go sign up for heat, 4 people at a time. When they fill up, they fill up. All right. Standards. Just, you don't want to get no rep in the open, okay? Our head judge, Heather Hanks, is a really good judge, and she's going to no rep you guys and have the other judges no rep you guys. If you're not, let's talk about the thruster first. So the thruster, you need to hit full depth in the squat, which means your hip crease needs to be below the top of your knees, not parallel, but actually below the top of your knees.
Are you in underwear, Joe?
Okay. Oh, that's parallel.
Yeah.
That's below parallel. You can't really see from that angle. Anyway, you guys know. You got to get below parallel every time in the thruster. And then you have to get your arms fully extended overhead, elbows locked out, and the bar needs to be over the center of your body. So not out in front. That's going to be a no rep, but over the center of your body, elbows fully extended with your knees and hips extended as well. So be careful about like bringing the bar down early, stuff like that. Those are the two big no reps on the thrusters. Can you guys think of any other common faults on the thrusters? No rep faults, not necessarily movement faults.
No, and you can let's just squat clean the first one. I think it's good to note.
Yeah, you can. Yep. The pull up, you have to start with your arms fully extended. So just think of it like a dead hang, elbow straight, and feet off the ground. Every rep has to start that way. So you can't do like a little push off with your feet. You can't start with your arms bent a little bit. Full extension of the arms. And then your chin has to break the plane of the top of the bar. That's for the chin over bar pull up. For the chest to bar pull up, your chest actually has to touch the bar. Your chest actually has to touch the bar below your collarbone. Not close. Actually has to touch. And the muscle up, same thing. Start from full extension, just like the pull-ups, feet off the ground. And you have to hit full lockout on the dip on top of the bar as well. There's also some little nuances, like for people who chicken wing their muscle ups, or if you're just getting your first muscle up, be careful because your forearm or your elbow can't touch the bar. Mm-hmm. So you have to keep those elbows up off the bar.
On the gymnastics, jumping up, can you jump up in the hollow? Dead underneath it, right? In the hollow, right?
Correct.
Yep, and I did that.
Yeah, too.
As long as your arms are straight.
Right.
I think you just have to pass through, because when you do that, you do pass through
with open arms.
Full extension, arms
feet off the
straight.
ground.
Yeah. So as long as you pass through that position, it counts. And then the double unders, just the rope has to spin under your feet twice. If you trip, it doesn't count. So those are the big things. I think the thing that's going to get some people is the depth on the thruster, squat depth on the thruster. So do a couple of practice reps for your judge and just be like, hey, are these good? Have them check your depth. And, it might mean you have to slow down a little bit, but standard's the standard.
Yep.
All right. Okay. You guys have any other final thoughts?
Have fun. It's a good time.
Yeah. Have fun.
It's just a workout.
It's a workout. It's just a workout in a fun environment. I hope most of you guys do it at Friday Night Lights. I really encourage you to. It's a fun experience. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I just like getting it done in the morning.
If you're going for your first bar muscle up, do it at Friday Night Lights. It's such a cool experience.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Come work out.
Yep, Daniel's going to be there. Sweet. I might even do it again if I'm feeling good. We'll see. I do think next week. So for 25,
because when we've worked out together in the open before, you've quit on me twice.
Really?
Yeah.
I know I had to go to the bathroom last year. For 25.3, I'm going to try to get 2 other people to do the Thursday announcement, and then I'm going to work out. I do want to work out at Friday Night Lights one of these weeks. So if I don't do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it next week. All right, guys. Thanks for jumping on here with me, and thanks, Brian, for jumping on. All right, sign up for Heat, Friday Night Lights. Get there early, warm up on your own. If you have any questions, we'll be here for you. There will be coaches there for you if you have questions, too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'll take it easy.
See you guys.